The Drake versus Kendrick drama just exploded in a way nobody could have predicted. Word is, a leaked clip surfaced where Drake was allegedly caught saying he'd handle Kendrick if he dared set foot in Toronto during his tour.
He did an interview and he basically threatened to shoot Kendrick if he comes to Toronto.
Oh, that's crazy.
And that was only scratching the surface. What's on that tape digs way deeper. Murder talk. Straight up threats no one thought would ever come out of a rap beef. People say Toronto is calm. Nah, not when Drake's throne is at stake. In hip-hop, beef doesn't always stay on wax. Sometimes, it's a razor-thin line between rhymes and real-life consequences. What started as a lyrical back-and-forth between Drake and Kendrick Lamar turned into a storm of fear, threats, and pure tension. To the mainstream, it was just diss tracks. But to the streets, it looked like war signals. And right in the middle of this chaos was a name most casual fans barely knew, Top 5. He didn't just diss Kendrick. He went as far as threatening to shoot him if he touched Toronto soil. But here's the wild twist. Top 5 isn't some random clout chaser. His link to Drake. And rumor has it, Drake even covered his legal fees when Top 5 was facing a murder trial. Whispers started flying that both were plotting to take Kendrick out. Sounds insane, right? But this was no ordinary rap feud. It was shaping up to be a battle of empires. The spark? Kendrick and SZA announcing their joint world tour. Fans went crazy. But one date in particular sent shockwaves through Toronto, June 12th at Rogers Centre. Kendrick was bringing his smash diss track Not Like Us, the anthem that embarrassed Drake worldwide, right into Drizz's own backyard.
No, it's a stadium tour.
Gotta be.
Right. But what's interesting about this tour is on June 12th, they're playing in Toronto, Ontario, at the Rogers Centre.
You could almost feel the city's nerves snap. Kendrick performing Not Like Us in Toronto? That's like walking into enemy turf and throwing a flag in the air. For many in the Six, that was straight disrespect. But then came the curveball nobody expected. Top 5. He went on record saying, Kendrick better not come with police protection. This ain't no rap bar. This ain't Twitter fingers. The message was clear. If Kendrick rolled heavy with cops, he'd be clowned as soft. If he came unprotected, the threat spoke for itself.
Drake's guy Top 5 said he'll respect Kendrick if he shows up without police security, which is ridiculous. He did an interview and he basically threatened to shoot Kendrick if he comes to Toronto.
Oh, that's crazy.
That wasn't coincidence. That was a warning shot. Even Tony Yeo, a G-Unit vet who's seen it all, admitted he was rattled. Not because he thought Top 5 would definitely do it, but because he knew just how messy things get when rap clout mixes with real street credibility. And Yeo confirmed what outsiders rarely get. Canada ain't sweet. Toronto has real hitters. And Drake? He has serious muscle backing him. Now, no one's outright saying Drake told Top 5 to make those threats. But when you bankroll someone's murder defense and then they publicly threaten your biggest rival, it starts looking calculated. Whack 100 even jumped in, reminding everyone how Drake had shows cancelled in the past, blocking artists like Schoolboy Q and Roddy Ricch from touching Canada. Yet somehow, Kendrick got clearance to headline Toronto.
Schoolboy Q claimed the show was canceled in Canada.
Canceled, so for them to book Kendrick up there like that, well, hey, listen, it's letting you know either it was a myth or how much pull he had, and or they saying, hey, look, out with the old, in with the new.
That felt like Toronto telling Drake, you're not untouchable anymore. That's what lit the fuse. For Top 5, this wasn't just about defending Drake. It was about defending Toronto's crown, defending an empire. And maybe, just maybe, making sure Kendrick never walked out of that stadium. Clout chasing, or something darker. Either way, the cops weren't brushing it off. Tony Yeo spelled it out. When threats like that go public, law enforcement listens.
So I stay neutral, all of that. If the whole thing is when you say certain things, you gotta remember the police and the feds are watching.
And that's where Drake got dragged deeper than he wanted. Once a murder threat enters a chat, especially from someone you supported financially, you're no longer just a rapper. You become a person of interest. That's exactly what happened. Suddenly, rumors spread that OVO's inner circle had a bigger play in motion. Kendrick stepping into Toronto wasn't just a concert. It was painted as walking into an ambush. Drake never addressed the threat head-on. But when he hit the stage in Florida, his words carried weight.
Head up high, my back straight. I'm 10 toes down in Florida or anywhere else I go. And I know that no matter what, it's not a on this earth that can ever fuck with me in my life.
No one can touch me. That wasn't just hype for the crowd. That sounded like a message. Maybe to Kendrick. Maybe to everyone watching. Later, on XQC's Twitch, Drake tried to play it off, calling the rumors fairy tales.
I do music, in case you didn't know. I'm here, as you can see, fully intact. Mind, body, and soul, in case you were wondering. Right?
Mind, body, and soul.
Mind, body, and soul. You need facts to take me out. Fairy tales won't do it.
But listen closely. You need facts to take me out. That sounded like a man under heat. A man denying, but never directly. Notice, he never mentioned top 5. Never mentioned the threat. Never addressed the motor defense. Just dance around it. And when Aiden Ross got a whole UK crowd chanting Kendrick's name at Drake's show, Drizzy leaned in instead of shutting it down.
Y'all thought y'all could knock the boy off for real? No.
That wasn't de-escalation. That was gasoline on the fire. Which leaves one question. Is Kendrick actually safe in Toronto? Let's be real. Kendrick's no stranger to danger. Like Wack 100 said, he grew up in Compton. He knows the streets. He's not scared of gangsters.
He is who he is. His team is gonna make sure he's right, and he's focused. And he come from a city where he was raised in that and had to walk down the street in that. So, you know, at the end of the day, what they gonna have some sharpshooters or something? You know what I mean? What are we talking about?
But Compton rules don't automatically protect you in the 6, especially when local soldiers are loyal to Drake, the city's king, who've been clowned on a global stage. Oshino made it clear.
Drake is Toronto. You can't disrespect Drake and then come to Toronto and think everything's gonna be all.
And Wack 100 doubled down. If Kendrick performs not like us in Toronto, chaos is guaranteed.
I mean, what's gonna happen when Kendrick performs not like us in Toronto? Because he's gonna have to perform it. There's no way he could do that show without performing that song.
So now the question hangs. Will Drake allow it? Or will the night mirror past violence, like when his own bodyguard was shot? That's when the line between diss tracks and real bullets blurred.
Drake's bodyguard did get shot.
Coincidence? Maybe. But in a war this intense, nothing feels random. The culture moved past diss tracks into something darker, because then came the biggest bomb yet, a leaked audio tape. Insiders say Drake didn't know he was being recorded, but when it leaked, the underground shook. Whispers spread of Drake talking about Kendrick, indirectly but menacingly, telling his people to handle it if the disrespect went too far, especially in Toronto. We don't have a full clip, and Drake's team denies everything. But podcasters, YouTubers, and industry voices all treat it like an open secret. And when top 5 threats lined up with the timing of Kendrick's Toronto show, fans started connecting dots. Allegedly, Drake told his team to keep it lyrical. Diss tracks, no violence. But then there's one chilling line inside his claim he dropped. If the disrespect keeps coming, we might need to make sure he doesn't leave that stadium. Unconfirmed? Yes. But in the streets, people don't wait for confirmation. The silence from Drake spoke volumes, especially when his own bodyguard had already been shot. At that point, fans started asking, was this really just rap beef? Or was someone staging a hit under the cover of hip-hop? Meanwhile, Drake's other problem resurfaced, ghostwriting. Kendrick's jabs reignited the old whispers. How can you kill someone lyrically if your bars aren't even yours? Even 2 Chainz, a longtime ally, distanced himself, saying ghostwriting isn't part of his code.
How did that relationship start and then you working with him?
Through Wayne, you know, he's with Cash Money.
But when Kendrick suggested Drake's camp lies just to stay in his good graces and dragged 2 Chainz' name in the mix, the Atlanta scene went uneasy.
2 Chainz, why did you lie to Drake about being good? Kendrick said 2 Chainz said you good, but he lied. Why you do that?
I just think it was kind of like some wordplay because Drake and I got a song called No Lie.
Mm-hmm.
And so when he said he lied, I just felt like, I don't know. But I didn't take it as no kind of way. I don't think he was taking a shot at me. I've heard all type of instances where somebody want me to say something back. I just think it was a moment where it was about Atlanta artists.
2 Chainz brushed it off as wordplay. Others didn't. And slowly, Drake began losing control of the narrative. Oskino, though, kept it real. In his eyes, Drake still had fight in him. He argued Drake's track Family Matters was the hardest cut of the beef, not Kendrick's Not Like Us.
It was good. Drake was showing that he got dog in him, though. Even if he lost, if he was saying anybody lost, to me, he ain't lose. But
wait, you don't think Drake lost?
No.
You think Drake won?
Yeah, this is the thing.
And that's the thing. Drake did something rare. He stood his ground against the West Coast savior and didn't back down. But he also didn't finish the fight.
No, listen. I think the best song was Family Matters.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Charlemagne Tha God didn't mince words, calling Drake Donkey of the Day. Not because he lost lyrically, but because he let ego drag him into lawsuits and threats instead of keeping it strictly music.
Okay, you being a ho simply because you lost. Simply because Kendrick Lamar kicked your ass lyrically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. And anybody acting like this is anything more than Drake's feelings being hurt, you are O2. OVO to be exact, okay? He's fighting the same war that Michael Jackson fought. Drake is taking a stand for the art and the artists. People who are running with that narrative would hold Drake's penis while he pees and shake it for him when he's finished. Okay, Drake has been handling this terribly since Not Like Us dropped. And please, let's keep this in mind. Drake, you're in this position because you tapped out. Okay, you chose to tap out after you heard Not Like Us.
And then came the strangest pivot. Some insiders claimed Drake's team wanted him to flip the hate, turn the BBL Drizzy meme into a hit single, spin They Just Love Drizzy into a summer club anthem, joke his way out of the beef.
Okay, so what does Drake do right now? The one idea was Drake should drop a song on BBL Drizzy.
Yeah, he just needs a hit, and BBL Drizzy
is a hit.
But here's the real question. Why is nobody standing by Drake? Think about it. This is a guy who boosted half the industry, from Block Boy JB to Young Blue to even Kendrick himself back in the day. Yet when the fire got hot, silence. No one's riding for him.
So I'm like, how is he not built up this like great rapport with everybody? He's handing out features to everybody. They get these #1 singles. Like, I'm looking at this from the outside. You know, I'm a total casual. But I'm like, wow, this is up. This guy puts so many people on and nobody's standing up for him.
That silence spoke louder than any diss track. Because when people fear you, they talk. When people respect you, they rally. But when people don't respect you, they stay quiet. And that's what surrounded Drake. Complete silence. At the heart of this saga lies a truth that rocked hip-hop, something far deeper than charts, awards, or internet memes.
Drake is a great rapper, but Kendrick's from the culture. You see what I'm saying? Like you can... this is my opinion. Hot take. Drake is a phenomenal rapper. And Ghost Riders aside, he's a great rapper. I know he can really rap. But Drake is a fan of the culture. Kendrick is a product of the culture.
Drake stepped into the game by choice. Kendrick was born in it, sharpened in it, raised by it. And when the fire came, Kendrick didn't run. He doubled down. He threw it straight at Drake. Squabble up, not lawyer up.
You tapped out. Kendrick won, and he told you to squabble up, not lawyer up, but you chose to get the lawyers because you lost the squabble.
And what did Drake do? He didn't clap back with another track. He hit back with lawsuits, paperwork instead of punchlines. But behind the scenes, whispers claimed he went even further. If that leaked audio was real, if those threats weren't just noise, then Drake's silence wasn't just cowardice. It might have been guilt, the quiet fool of a kingpin. While Drake was ducking smoke, Kendrick played the waiting game. No tweets, no IG lives, just calm. Then came the bombshell. The NFL announced Kendrick Lamar as a headliner for the Super Bowl halftime show. That wasn't just a win, that was checkmate.
And you know, Kendrick's doing the Super Bowl, Drake's doing the World Cup.
Wait, Drake's doing the World Cup?
I believe so.
The culture started asking, if Drake's the biggest artist in the world, why didn't he headline first? Rumors swirled that he declined. Twice. But industry insiders whispered a different story.
And they also also said that Drake turned down the Super Bowl twice.
That's what I'm saying. So
Steve
I
Styles.
think
And that's not shocking.
The truth? The NFL didn't want the baggage. Not with a top 5 drama. Not with ghostwriting scandals. Not with a cloud of personal controversies. They wanted clean. They wanted legacy. They chose Kendrick. And while the world debated, something slipped under the radar. Drake's Toronto mansion faced attempted break-ins right in the middle of this Kendrick chaos. Nobody officially pointed fingers, but WAC 100 said what everyone was already thinking.
So you really believe
It has
Kendrick?
nothing to do with Kendrick.
Even if Kendrick himself wasn't involved, and all signs point to him keeping it strictly lyrical, the energy of this beef made real violence spark. And when bullets fly, someone pays a price. Was it a warning shot at Drake? Was it rival Canadian factions flexing power? Or internal drama bubbling over? Nobody knows for sure. But what mattered was simple: OVO bled. And the industry? Silent. Artist Drake boosted, featured, mentored. None of them stepped up. Yachty himself hinted that maybe Drake's fall wasn't about bars. It was personal.
Well, I think people just hate on Drake because he's the guy.
Think about it. Not one industry figure publicly defended Drake. No one vouched for him like they did Kendrick. That silence was a real dagger. Drake built his empire on alliances. But when the walls cracked, nobody held them up. Even 2 Chainz said he had zero emotion about Drake's beef. That's how little loyalty remained.
I have zero emotion on it. I have zero.
Drake wasn't just out-rapped, he was abandoned. And that brings us back to Kendrick. When he finally broke silence in an interview, he revealed the truth. This was never about killing Drake's career. It was about making him live through it. I don't want you gone. I want you here, feeling every single bar.
Kendrick's whole thing is, I'm not trying to kill you physically, but I'm gonna kill you on this microphone.
That's why Kendrick ignored top 5. That's why he didn't get baited into lawsuits. That's why he kept it strictly music. To him, this was chess, not war. He wasn't here to destroy Drake's life. He was here to destroy Drake's image. And the facts are chilling. Our Drake affiliate threatened to shoot Kendrick. Drake allegedly paid for that affiliate's murder defense. Leaked audio allegedly caught Drake suggesting action. Drake's bodyguard was shot in Canada. Drake stayed silent. If Drake wasn't involved, he did a poor job proving it. If he was, he played it like a mob boss. Never admit, never deny, just move in shadows. But the one mistake he couldn't bury? That recording. And as Charlemagne said,
You could have got with some ghostwriters, went in the studio and wrote a hit to combat Not Like Us, but you chose not to. You tapped out.
that's what people will remember. Not the Billboard records, not the stadium tours, but that when it mattered most, Drake folded. He turned to silence. He turned to lawyers. He leaned on threats and maybe even street favors. Meanwhile, Kendrick Lamar stood on the biggest stage in the world, the Super Bowl, while the whole globe watched him win. And he didn't even need to speak. If you like this breakdown, check out our other videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.